So I'm restoring this Jeep here. It's a 1944 Willys Mb mixed with a GPW. Originally it's a Ford GPW, but the frame was all rusted out because it sat up in Pennsylvania for a while, so it had to be replaced with a Willys frame. So anyway, the chassis is pretty much all done with it. It looks pretty good. But anyway, I'm starting on this body here, which is pretty much trashed. A lot of people have said that I'd be better off just buying a new body, which is probably true, but they're really expensive, and I think you lose a lot of character when you just buy a brand new body. Figure anybody can buy a new body for a Jeep, but not anybody can restore the original. So here, this floor panel here has actually been replaced. This thicker one on top is not the original. The only original part is this middle piece here. So that'll all need to be cut out and replaced, welded in. But you know, there's some rust out there, and then back here in the corners here are all busted up. That corner's pretty much shot. And anyway, though, I've been starting on the outside edges some. So this piece here was all rusted out from about right here all the way along up to here. Body was broken in half, and then it was rusted down here too, completely gone. So I made this new piece here, and then I jointed it together with the other piece to make. There's a factory build joint here on the MBs and GPWs and even CJ2As too, and so I made that look good. And then I've got a little bit here that didn't quite get covered up with this piece of metal, but I'm going to make a new step here, and then probably cut out from here all the way along and make the whole new step together, which come out to here somewhere, and then put that in. So anyway, right now though, I'm just gonna repair over here in the corner. There's this little hole rusted out here. You know, a lot of guys have, you know, who don't really know much about welding, I always say it's hard to repair these because if you weld a piece on the side there, you can't smooth it all the way out without losing structural integrity. But I'm going to show you all how I usually do it. That makes it look pretty good. So anyway, yeah, I'll probably do that today. So I just went ahead and cleaned this up, and I found a couple little holes here and over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a probably go ahead and cut this out first. You know, make a big old cut through here, and then take that shape and make a new piece for it. And then here, I think I can just tack up that little hole, so the piece of metal will probably just come to about here. So only a little bit of it will need to be bent there. But I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, and then we'll go from there. So I just cut this out here. The cool thing about the MBs and GPWs is they actually have a toolbox in here. The lid is right here. You can see in there it's all cut out and everything. I do need to repair this, but since I'm not taking the whole corner off, I'm going to actually wait on this because when I flip over the Jeep to put in new hat channels, a new hat channel kit, I'll go ahead and cut that out and put in a new piece for that. But for now, I just got that cut out. I decided to leave that out. I think I can weld that up if I'm gentle with it. And so this is the piece here that's cut out. You can do this a couple different ways. My favorite is to get the piece in, you know, intact, so it's just one rectangular type thing. And then you want to lay this on your piece of steel that you're going to use to replace it. And just go ahead and trace this piece on there and cut it out, and then you'll have a perfect match to weld back in here. The biggest thing I've learned from welding on these Jeeps over the years is that you want to have it all bare metal all around here. That's why, if you notice, I went ahead and cleaned all this up and so you want to have it really, really clean metal, and then it should be good to go. So I went ahead and got that all ground down just with a wire brush on an angle grinder. That's how I cut this out too. It's just with a 1/8 inch cutting disc on a angle grinder. So anyway, I'm gonna lay this on there and cut out a new piece, and then we'll we'll go from there. Okay, so I got my new piece made here. This piece has been gotten a little weld on it, which won't be a problem. I'll just get that out of there. But anyway, since there's a curve here, the best thing to do is going to be to weld in this end first, and then slowly tack along until you get, you know, all the way over here. That way it'll follow the curve. So I'm going to go ahead and start welding this in, and we'll go from there. So I kind of just made a little bend here by hitting it with a hammer, but if you can see, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but it's kind of off here a little bit, so I'm just going to go ahead and tack it up. Here I'm just using a cheap Chicago Electric flux core welder from Harbor Freight. I think it runs like 150 bucks or maybe 100 bucks, I don't know. And then I've got this big welder's clamp. If you don't have one of those, definitely get a couple over at Tractor Supply. They're pretty cheap. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and tack this up, and then you know, I'm going to have to pull this out a little bit so it'll meet up, and then just slowly tack it all the way along. The thing I found the best to do with these is keep the temperature on low at first, and just go ahead and put a couple tacks in the whole thing so it'll hold all the way around, and then go ahead and come back with the heat a little higher and the wire speed a little faster, and just kind of fill it in all the way around, and then we'll see what happens. So I just got this all welded up. It looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and grind it down with, this one's kind of worn out, but these paddle blades. They're kind of a big old thing full of sandpaper. Work pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and smooth that out. And yeah, we'll be right back. So here it is, all smoothed out and ground down. It probably is going to need a little bit of Bondo, or I hate to use Bondo, so just some kind of body fill, or maybe some lead in here in some places, but it'll still be good for if somebody was to take a magnet to it or something, it'd still, you know, pick up, because this is all solid metal in here. So it looks pretty good, came out pretty well. A couple little pinholes here and there that we'll get taken care of. But listen, if you thought this video was helpful, if you enjoyed it, if you'd like to see some other parts of the Jeep, please let me know. And if you want to check out my Instagram, is at Zingers Jeeps. It's Z-E-N-G-E-R Jeeps. And you can see my day-to-day stuff, everything that I do on there with all my Jeeps. So yeah, give me a like. Thanks.